Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Look at the glasses. Like an executive at Xbox planning to make a lot of money. Guys, I wanted to talk to you about this new business proposition that most likely Xbox is going to have. What you're looking right here at is the Xbox Rogue Ally. This is the expensive one. Look at that. Let me bring myself over here. It's $1,000. It's $1,000, and it's not for everybody. It's not for your everyday user, right? It's quite the item. This is their dream. If they want to progress with this, I think they're going to find out pretty soon that the public in general is going to say no. It's not going to sell to the amounts that they wish. Not that they're not going to sell any. It's pretty popular. You can order it now. You can make payments. You can finance it just like a car. But that's not the business proposition that this is testing. This is my opinion. There's a very popular interview right now that an Sony executive made, where he's saying that all gaming companies, if they want to break through that plateau of the 250 million units of hardware sold a year, that companies are going to have to come out with a unified form factor for the media, for video games, and then try to expand it that way, like the VHS, like the DVD. I don't think that's going to work in this market, guys. Specifically because you have the internet, you have Steam, you have different business models out there that offer opportunities, very different opportunities to the customers out there. But the market that Xbox can exploit is a market that has been exploited for years. For years, this has happened ever since the second generation. If you guys remember, Sears was making Intellivisions, ColecoVision was making Ataris, came up with licensing for them. You had companies making other companies' hardware, licensing it out. That might be what Xbox route is going to be when they say anything can be an Xbox. Right? And that means that they get to license their hardware, their engineering to other companies. And that way, you're not losing as much money on hardware, which they clearly are, because they can't produce anything that the public wants in mass, right? They're losing the console wars, whether you want to say that's because of, the software or anything else. It really doesn't matter, because right now, Microsoft has taken a hold of the company, and their primary focus is profit. Their primary focus is let's make software, let's sell software to anybody. They don't care if it's Nintendo, they don't care if it's PlayStation, they don't care if it buries down to fourth place. Now the little console is outselling them, right? What is it, the Nexus, whatever it's called. And if they could, they would put the Xbox Game Pass on that on that little console too. That's the philosophy of Microsoft. Software sales over anything else, including Xbox. Even if that means burying Xbox to the bottom rungs. You're not going to see, oh man, this is a different game. Long are gone are the days of the Xbox 360, the most beautiful console they've ever produced. Right? So what can they do? Business analysts such as myself are already in their ears saying, look, this is a good test run. We can sell product. But why are we going to get involved in setting up manufacturing, factories in China, going through all this development crap? Yeah, we can make the top model, and we can make a few of them enough to make us profitable. Like if you want the Rolls Royce of Xboxes, they can make that and make limited runs on that. But they know that $1,000, $1,100, very few people are going to buy those. But what they can do is, for example, for the Series X, farm it out to anybody. Hey, you want a license to make an Xbox Series X? Here you go. The licensing fee is free, right? All they have to do is produce a cheaper Xbox Series S, which, based on what's coming out of China now, shouldn't be too difficult. Look at the mini computers that they have and what have you. All right, so they can produce something to run the Game Pass in. They can slap the Xbox sticker on it, and now anything can be an Xbox. Any company can make it. Any company can say we make our own our own hardware here, and you can run Xbox software on it. It's most likely probably going to be with the Xbox, Game Pass already included on it. But other companies can produce it for a much cheaper price. Let me tell you, China could do it for a much cheaper price, and they're doing it now. Now, the quality is going to vary, and depending who you choose. The market's going to determine who's going to win. But that's a win-win situation for Xbox because they're not spending any money in making them. It's all profit for them because they're going to take a chunk out of every sale that these new companies make. They can make the Xbox in any form factor they want other than a box, which people hate. And they can produce other things. That's the way they're going to go. That's the way they should go. That's probably the way they will go. Not only making consoles and licensing them out to companies like Asus, but also TV companies. TVs are going to come out with the Xbox Game Pass already built in or accessible, as long as people pay it. But they'll have certain software adaptations, hardware adaptations to run the Xbox software specifically at a better pace than other places would, for example, or a TV that doesn't include that. And you could talk about handhelds like this one. You could talk about actual consoles. You can talk about premium console, whatever. They don't care. They don't care. They want to make money, and they're losing money with the consoles. So if the consoles are losing money, why not let other companies lose money and they just recoup a licensing fee? Now, I'm not predicting that those other companies are going to lose money. As a matter of fact, I think that some company is going to get the Xbox form, whether it's a Chinese company, a Japanese company, and they'll do a much better job at producing consoles than Xbox would. Why is that? How could that be? How can you say that, Gen X Gamer? Well, let me tell you why. Because you're going to have a company that's specifically focused on selling consoles, not selling software. Right? What you've seen out of Xbox for the last couple of years as far as hardware is they're half-assing it. Right? The reason these consoles are square, it's not because of creativity. It's because it's cheaper. The molds are cheaper. It's just that simple. Don't let them tell you anything else. I work in manufacturing. Let me tell you, a square is much cheaper to make than something that's round or has 3 different forms or anything else like that. It's just a cheaper product to produce. And even though it's cheaper to produce, they keep on raising prices. It's not working out for them. But if they were to license this out, let me tell you, the brand would become more popular. It would become, you can license anywhere in any country. It doesn't matter, right? They can manufacture in those countries. For example, Brazil. If you license it out to Brazil with all their restrictions, instead of having all these import tariffs, because, Brazil, for example, it's very protective about manufacturing, so you have to make all the consoles there, or they have to be produced by Brazilian companies. I can't remember exactly, but it's very protectionist market. But if you license it out to Brazilian companies like Sega does, then it's a whole different ball of wax. They would be number one in Brazil, hands down. Right? And you can do that in other countries that have the same type of market. It would grow the brand even more. They wouldn't be exposed to all these losses. It's all incoming, nothing outgoing, which a business owner loves, right? Getting earnings without expending anything. Guys, when will it happen? I think the ASUS, the Rogue Xbox Ally, is the first test run for this. And you're going to see other things coming. I want to say within 5 years, you're going to see a third-party company make an Xbox, and they're going to make it better than Microsoft themselves. It doesn't matter now. Everybody that was the heart and soul of the Xbox is gone. Maybe those people were for other companies that can make a real Xbox again. Can you imagine an Xbox Series X shaped in a box of an Xbox 360? Or create the famous 720 that we all deserve? That could be more of a possibility than actually Xbox making a great next generation console. Because Microsoft is just not invested in it. That's the problem. And that's why they're eventually going to do this. All right, humans, that's just my opinion. It's an educated guess, but it's coming. It is coming, guys. You guys tell me what you think. What direction do you think Xbox is going to go? I think this is the one that makes the most sense. If you're losing money on hardware, you have to go this route. But who knows? The future will tell whether I'm right or wrong. Guys, I give you a three-piece on New Year's Day. Make sure you like, subscribe while everybody's resting. I'm over here about to throw the garbage and making videos, because after that, I have to clean up the mess the dog made in the back and all. All right, humans. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hey, if you're really, really cool, go ahead and, is it that way? Yeah, that way. Sign up to the channel for 99 cents. You want to get me some coffee? I got the Kofi going on. You can support any way you want. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.